Ms. Regan, I need to make a statement because there was a violation of SJC Rule 119 yesterday, and the court's instruction in the morning, and I want to know whether you wanted to have your client present while I address the press on that matter or waive his presence.
I will waive his presence.
Right. I am concerned that the public's right to access to this case be protected. The actions of the pool camera yesterday and at least one news station jeopardized that access by violating the clear and unequivocal limitations on coverage announced by this court before the jury entered the courtroom on 2 days and outlined in Supreme Judicial Court Rule 119. I have turned my morning announcement into a court order that members of the media need to sign and acknowledge recognition of the court's order. The print and television media's access to this courtroom is the only means through which most people can access court proceedings. This scrutiny is essential in promoting an understanding of our judicial system and allowing those who agree or disagree with that process information upon which to base their views. To paraphrase Justice Anthony Kennedy, the right to think is the beginning of the right of freedom, and speech must be protected because speech is the beginning of thought. Any member of the media who does not follow this court's order, and more importantly, the Supreme Judicial Court's protocol on press coverage, risks jeopardizing the core role they play in our constitutional republic. Make no mistake about it. The order of this court will be enforced. Court will be in recess until we're ready to address the competency matter.
All right.
On the 15A, please, if we could swear her in.
Dr. Barrett, if you come forward over here, please.
Sure.
We can have her come over, Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Your Honor, the defense is satisfied that Mr. Chism is competent. And so we are withdrawing the question we raised concerning his competency. Mr. Chism would like to waive his presence in the courtroom for the trial today. I've explained to him that at any time he can decide to come back into the courtroom. And yesterday, I'd like to state that he didn't want to delay the proceedings. He wanted to absent himself, but, and so he'd like to waive his presence today.
All right. As it relates to the first issue, Dr. Merritt, thank you very much. You can have a seat if you could for a moment, please. As to any waiver of a right to be present, which he has the right to do under the case law in the Constitution, it requires me to do a colloquy with him. And before I do that colloquy with him and before I make my findings on competency, I need to see counsel at the sidebar. The court, having found the defendant competent, we will continue with the trial. The court will make its specific findings and rulings as it relates to that matter after speaking with counsel at a later point in time in order to address the issue of the defendant's presence. And Ms. Regan, your request is that the defendant not be present for today?
Yes,
Right.
but I guess
need to do a colloquy
yes.
with him, but it can be done at counsel table. Is he prepared right now?
Last time I checked. Yes.
All right. And I will have to also say that before we actually start, and the jury's not back until 10:15 anyway, until we start, there'll also have to be a written waiver as well. And we'll put something together.
Your Honor, I would
would just ask as well, not to make it subject to the public, but that the competency report be marked for identification for purposes of the trial record.
Nay, I thank Dr. Merritt for her comprehensive and prompt competency report. And I recognize the amount of hours that went into it, the carefulness with which it was done, the seriousness with which it was done, and the professional care in which it was done, and the inconvenience that it posed to Dr. Merritt in doing it when she was not in the building. All right. Court will proceed then with the colloquy relative to the defendant's right to be present. Swear in, Mr. Chism.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear you will make true answers to such questions that may be put to you by the court or upon its direction, so help you God?
I do.
Good morning, sir. My name is David Lowy. I'm a judge here in the Superior Court. I'm going to ask you some questions to make sure that you don't want to be present today for the trial. I also want to ask you some questions to make sure that you understand the important rights you have under the Constitution if you do make a decision not to be present. I want to make sure that you understand that if you are not present, you will still have a right to consult with counsel, with your lawyer. I want you to understand that if you're not present, at any moment you can change your mind about being present in the courtroom. To sort of put it as straightforward as I can, I just want to make sure that this is what you want to do and you understand what you give up under the law by making this decision and that you can change your mind. Do you feel like you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
Now, sir, if at any point in time I ask you anything you don't understand, please let me know. If at any point I ask you a question and you understand it, but you want to talk to one of your lawyers before you answer it, let me know so I can give you time to talk to them before you answer the question. Do you understand all that?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, could you please tell me your full name and how old you are?
Bill Danvers, 16 years old.
And, sir, how far did you go in school?
9th grade.
Are you able to read and write, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Have you taken any prescription medicine today?
Yes.
Do you feel in any way that that's getting in the way of your ability to understand what's happening, sir?
No.
Have you taken any narcotics or alcohol? Now, sir, you have an absolute right to be present in the courtroom while the trial is going on, unless the court makes a decision otherwise that requires a lot, to put it sort of as colloquially as I can, for you not to be able to be here. So you have a right under the law and under the Constitution, it is your right to be present, to be here watching the trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, if you decide you don't want to be here, you have that right too. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, sir, when I'm asking you questions and talking to you, it's really important that you understand that I'm not trying to suggest that you be in the courtroom or not be in the courtroom. I'm just asking you questions to make sure that this is what you want to do. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you are not in the courtroom, we are going to have the courtroom proceedings, what happens here, available for you to watch and see, should you choose to do so. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Ms. Regan, is it your intention for one of the attorneys to be present with Mr. Chism if he is not in the courtroom with him?
As best I can manage it.
Okay. Now, when I say you have a right to be present in the courtroom, what you have is a right under our Constitution to what we call confront witnesses who are called in to testify against you. What I really mean by that is you have a right. It's your right, being charged with a crime, to actually see the witnesses as they testify and to be able to see your lawyers ask questions of them. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Now, that means that if something happens and you have a thought about an idea and you're not in the courtroom, I expect your lawyers and you will decide to have one of your lawyers there outside, and if there is something that you believe should be brought to the court's attention, be a means to do so. But you're not right there to whisper in your lawyer's ear a thought you have if you're not in the courtroom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Do you want to give up that right to be present and be here to confront, see the witnesses, and see the cross-examination?
No.
Do you want to be present?
Yes.
You want to be present during the trial?
Yes.
Okay. All right. At this point in time, then, I'll see counsel at the sidebar for a moment, and then we'll bring the jury in when they return at 10:15. Sir, you can be seated. Thank you.
Of Essex, draw near. Give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now in session. You may be seated.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I have a series of questions for you. If the answer to any of my questions is yes, please raise your hand. Otherwise, there's no need to respond verbally to any of my questions. Any of the jurors have any difficulty following the instructions of the court not to discuss the case among yourselves or with anybody else? Any of the jurors have any difficulty following the instructions of the court not to do any independent investigation concerning this case and avoid any information from any source other than in the courtroom? Is there any serious and substantial issue involving your jury duty that you need to alert the court to at this time? None of the jurors have answered affirmatively. I just want to comment on the jury's punctuality, conscientiousness, seriousness, and it's as clear as can be to me that you took to heart what I told you, that this process was going to require each of you every day to be the best you can possibly be. On behalf of everybody involved in the case, I want to thank you very much for your jury service. All right, if we could have the witness resume the stand, please.
Come right up.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, officer. You remain under oath. Thank you. Please, Mr. Quigley.
Good morning, Officer Ellenton.
Good morning, ma'am.
Officer Ellenton, there's an item that is in front of a jury box for this from you. Do you recognize that item?
I do.
And what do you recognize that item to be?
The recycle bin that I found in the woods.
And other than the, what I would suggest is fingerprint powder on the outside of it, the white powder, is that recycling barrel in essentially the same condition it was in when you first located in the pricker bush outside Danvers High School?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I would ask if the witness can come down from the witness stand, Your Honor, to look inside the box, the barrel. Officer Ellenton, if you could just look inside and tell us if that's essentially in the same condition it was in at the time you first looked in it with your flashlight.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this point, I would move the recycling barrel into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, Mr. Officer, no objection. It may be admitted.
Exhibit 39.
Does the court want it to remain there? I just don't want to.
Well, actually, I didn't know if you were through with your inquiry. If
I am.
You are through with your inquiry in that matter?
Yes.
Okay. Then if there's no objection, I'm going to ask the clerk with the assistance of the court officers to just move it into the clerk magistrate's office, please. Ms. Regan, are you going to need anything for direct in this regard? Mr. Austin, I apologize. For cross-examination, are you going to need anything?
I took some photos of the inside of the building.
So you're all set? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Officer Ellenton, fair to say once again, you didn't actually retrieve the barrel from that area. You just found it, located it, and indicated for others where it would be. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, yesterday, sir, I think I may have confused things. Did you find one of the gray sneakers or two of the gray sneakers?
I believe we saw both of the sneakers. I just can't remember the actual placement of them in the woods.
Okay. And was one of the sneakers more stained than the other?
Yes.
Showing you a photograph, Officer Ellenton, does that depict the sneaker that had more staining? I think the sneaker you more described yesterday.
Yes, it is.
And is that in essentially the same location that you found it on the late night of October 22nd?
It is.
I'd ask that be marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. That may be admitted. We just give Ms. Canty a moment.
Sure. Is it 40 so hard?
Thank you.
Displaying exhibit 40, Officer Ellenton. And again, that's that same fence that we saw from the other side near the boulder that's the entranceway to what you call the orchard. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's the location where this sneaker was when you found it, or when Falco found it that night. Is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all set. And you indicated that ultimately you and Falco located both sneakers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Both gray sneakers.
Yes.
Placing a bag in front of you, Officer Ellenton, do you recognize what's in that bag?
I do.
And what's in that bag?
That's both the gray sneakers that Falco located in the woods.
And if you could just take them out for us, and if you need another glove, let me know. And so the one that you, in the photograph marked yesterday, is the one in your left hand,
Correct.
and the other one's the one in your right hand.
Correct.
And those are, again, in essentially the same condition they were in when Falco located them that night.
Yes.
I'd ask this be marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Is one exhibit?
Yes. Exhibit 41. Now, Officer Ellenton, in that area of leaves next to the big boulder, did Falco come upon any other items?
He did.
Can you describe that for the jury, please?
Just next to where we located the purple bag, to the left of the left boulder, there were a pair of soccer cleats, men's soccer cleats, and a pair of ladies' black flat shoes. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Were they readily apparent, meaning were they visible to the naked eye before Falco located them?
No.
Why was that?
They were covered with leaves.
If I could just have one moment.
Sure.
And again, with respect to those items, Officer Ellenton, did you just preserve them and then leave them for someone else to collect?
I did.
And I placed two items in front of you. Do you recognize those?
I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
The black flat ladies' shoes that I found next to the boulder.
And were they together the way they are now?
They were neatly placed.
And are they in the same condition they were in when Falco located them?
Yes.
I'd ask this to be marked as the next exhibit here.
Admitted.
And showing you another pair of shoes. Officer Ellenton, do you recognize those?
I do.
And what do you recognize those as?
The cleats that were neatly placed next to those black flat shoes.
And again, both of those were covered with foliage, is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Are those cleats in essentially the same condition they were in when Falco located them?
Yes.
I'd ask these to be marked as the next exhibit.
Admitted.
Ellenton, at some point, did you make a decision to stop having Falco search the wooded area?
Yes.
And you know, and was it after he'd located all of the items we discussed?
No, we still discovered some other items.
What kinds of items did you, what other kinds of items did you discover?
In the gully that we discussed earlier, there was clothing strewn within that gully.
And where was it with respect to the recycling barrel?
So the recycling barrel, if I'm looking into the gully, was at the beginning of the gully on the left, and the clothes were strewn to the right of it.
And were they where were they? Meaning, were they suspended or were they in the ground?
Some of them were suspended due to the thick foliage, the pricker bushes, and there were, I believe, a couple of items on the actual floor of the gully.
And were you able to identify what types of clothing items they were?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. And you indicated that they had blood on them, is that fair to say?
Yes, some of them did.
And what did you observe that led you to believe they had blood on them?
Well, for instance, a pair of jeans I could tell had blood on them.
Showing you a photograph, sir, do you recognize what that photograph depicts?
I do.
And what does that photograph depict?
It's a pair of jeans that appears to have blood on them that is on the floor of the gully, and at least one sock.
And were those some of the clothing items that Falco also located that night?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd ask this photograph be marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor. Exhibit 44. Understanding there wasn't an evidence marker when you found these items, do you know where these, is the recycling barrel to the left or the right or behind or in front, if you know?
It would be to the left.
Okay. Okay. And you've indicated, I think we can see the jeans, and then that black item you indicated it was a sock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. And showing you another photograph, Officer Ellenton, do you recognize what that photograph depicts?
I believe that is a black pair of female's pants.
And then you can also see the jeans.
In the background, yes.
Okay. I'd ask that be marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Okay.
Exhibit 45.
And just be clear, so this is the black item you believe was a pair of ladies' pants, is that correct? Next to the evidence marker 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, I think I got ahead of myself. At some point, did you and Falco at least take a break from what you were doing searching the woods?
Yes.
And what, if any, other steps did you take at that time?
I informed Captain Ambrose that the search area was, the orchards is a large section of woods, and dogs do get tired after searching because they're working hard searching. And I asked him if we could call for a NEMLEC response for more canines.
And what's NEMLEC, Officer Ellenton?
NEMLEC is the Northeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council. It's comprised of, I think we're about 60 cities and towns now. We have a regional response team, which includes canines, mountain bikes.
Different resources that one department might only have 1 or 2 of, but you can combine resources, is that fair to say?
Correct.
And what steps, if any, did you need to take in order to get NEMLEC canines?
So Captain Ambrose authorized the call out, and then I contacted North Andover. I believe I radioed to dispatch to contact North Andover Police, who is the base station that calls out, that puts out a page, and they paged out all available canines.
And eventually, did a number of NEMLEC canines arrive.
Yes, ma'am.
And eventually, were they ever deployed into the woods?
They weren't. We did deploy along the perimeter of the orchards with one other dog, but the rest of the dogs weren't deployed at that time.
And can you explain to the jury, I think you've already talked earlier about that there were drug dogs, that Falco was both a drug dog and an evidence and body dog. Are there other kinds of dogs? Obviously, there are other kinds of dogs. Are there dogs trained in other areas as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you explain that to the jury?
So we only have one attached to NEMLEC at the time. It was a cadaver dog, and they find human remains. So basically, any deceased person, they'll be able to locate, not live people.
And did you take steps to have that dog come as well?
Yes.
And while you were waiting for NEMLEC dogs to arrive, what were you doing?
I was organizing the incoming canine response.
If I could just have one moment, Your Honor. I have nothing further for Officer Ellenton.
Okay. Counsel.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Let's have a look at the photo. 33.
As we're waiting, I just want to remind you about recesses. We'll plan on the morning recess at 11:15. There's nothing magic about 11:15. If you want to recess earlier, please don't sit there uncomfortably. It's okay if it's soon after we come in. If you need a recess, always feel free to raise your hand.
Can I ask you, if I may approach the witness?
Sure, yes.
Can I ask you to just have a look at that?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize what's in that photo?
Yes, sir.
Would you just tell the jury what it is?
It's the evidence that we recovered to the left of the left boulder at the top of the hill. It's the purple bag, the female's flat black shoes, and the pair of cleats.
And is that how it appeared when you saw it?
Yes.
And is that a fair representation of the area?
Yes.
I'd move to admit that.
No objection.
Ready.
Exhibit 46.
If I remember correctly, you said that when items were located by Falco, that you then looked at them with your flashlight. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. When you were looking in that area at those items that you first found, did you see any blood, even drops of blood, anywhere in the vicinity of those items?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Okay. If you could have a look at these. All right, and do you recognize what both of those
Yes, sir.
matters are? Would you just tell the jury what they are?
One of them is of the left sneaker with a small blood stain on the left side, and the other is of the right sneaker with the soaked, the whole toe is soaked with blood.
All right, and is that a fair and accurate representation of how they appeared in the woods where they were discovered?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to move to admit both of them, I guess, as separate exhibits.
Separate exhibit,
No
any objection? Admitted.
.47 left sneaker. Exhibit 48, it's the right.
So, fair to say that one of these sneakers, the right sneaker, had a lot of blood in the toe area, correct?
Yes.
You were saturated. Again, when you discovered that item, was there any blood in the area around it?
Not that I noticed at the time.
And fair to say there's none that appears in that photograph?
From the photograph, I don't see any, no.
I'm going to ask you the same question with respect to the left sneaker. There's less blood on that, but there is blood on the toe area of the sneaker at least. Was there any blood in the area around it where you discovered it in the woods?
Not that I recall. It was dark and I wasn't looking for it.
And I think that you also identified a photo of the jeans that you found in the woods. There was a large sort of sock on them, correct?
Yes.
And there's clearly blood visible on the jeans, correct?
Correct.
Right. Was there any blood in the area around them?
Again, not that I noticed. That it was dark.
And then finally, the barrel that was brought in here a little while ago that you identified. You looked in that barrel with your flashlight, correct?
Correct.
And by the way, did you see that barrel later in the morning when you came back? Did you return to the scene? Were you there in the morning when the sun came up? Or?
I was.
And the barrel was out there, correct?
I don't recall if it was or not.
When you looked in the barrel, I guess I'm going to show you a photo here. Let me show you one at a time. Do you recognize what that is?
I do.
Okay. Could you just tell it?
It's the inside of the barrel.
And is that the way the inside of the barrel appeared?
Yes.
Is that the way it still appears when you look at it today in the courtroom?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. And is that a fair, accurate representation of the interior of the barrel?
Yes.
Okay, so I would have moved to admit that.
No.
Admitted.
Exhibit 49.
I'll show you one more. And would you tell the jury what's in that photo I put before you?
It's the inside of the barrel.
Okay. And is that a view? Could you tell us what view that is inside the barrel?
Looking from the top into the barrel.
Okay. Is that a fair and accurate representation of what the barrel looked like inside?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move to admit that.
Any objection? Admitted.
Exhibit 50, so marked.
So there can be a request for those to be published, Ms. Lawson?
I would like to show them.
All right, do you have any objection to that being done by being handed to the jurors?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay, why don't, if you can give them to Mr. Gator, we'll pass those around. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes exhibits will be published to you up there, and sometimes they'll be published to you by being handed to you. Take a look at each exhibit. When you're done, pass it along to the next juror. And keeping in mind, you'll have all the exhibits with you in the jury room when you're deliberating.
So, fair to say that the interior of the barrel, there is some blood,
Yes.
correct? There are some little streams of blood going down on one side, correct?
Yes.
There are some other areas that look like maybe transferred or rubbed from another surface of blood, correct?
I'm not an expert in blood, but I would imagine that could happen, yes.
Okay. And there are some books, paperback books, maybe at the bottom of the barrel,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And they have some blood on them.
They do.
Right. But certainly the interior of the barrel is not covered with blood.
What's the question?
It's not covered with blood, the interior of the barrel.
It appears to be covered in blood to me, but
Let me show you I've published the exhibit, so I think I have a second copy of it, if I may.
All right.
So I'm showing you the exhibit which shows some sort of streams of blood along the right side. Correct?
yes.
All right. So that wall of the interior of the barrel is not completely covered. It doesn't look like it's painted in blood. It looks like there are some streams running down it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And if I may have that back.
Yep.
This is just I'm going to just show you another one, which is the same one. And that shows the bottom of the barrel, correct?
Yes.
You can see the books. There are many areas on the bottom of the barrel that do not have blood on them. It's not, again, the bottom of the barrel doesn't look like it's painted with blood. Correct?
Yes.
In fact, there's very little blood on the very bottom of the barrel.
On that side of that barrel, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
The books are there. So.
Next to the books. I know the questions.
All right. Thank you, officer.
Thank you.
Next witness, please.
For Commonwealth Coast Chief Patrick Ambrose, and perhaps when he comes in, could we see him very briefly?
Sure.
Thank you.
Should you stop here? Raise your right hand, turn and face the clerk.
Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
Good morning, sir. Make yourself comfortable, please. There's been a motion to sequester witnesses in the case, so until all the evidence is over, you may only be in the courtroom when you testify. You may not discuss your testimony with the other witnesses, or let them discuss these with you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. McDougall, please.
Good morning, sir. In a loud, clear voice, can you introduce yourself to the jury?
Patrick Ambrose,
And can you spell your first and last names, please?
Patrick
Ambrose.
And sir, what is your current occupation?
I'm the acting chief of police for Danvers.
And how long have you been in your current role as acting chief?
Approximately 6 months.
Sir, let me ask you this. How long have you been a police officer for the town of Danvers?
30 years.
And drawing your attention to October 22nd of 2013, what was your formal rank at that time?
I was the captain of the police department.
And what were your, let me ask you this, in general, what were your duties and responsibilities as the captain, or as a captain, sorry?
I oversaw operations, also the administrative end of the house, and detectives.
Sir, on the evening of October 22nd, 2013, did you happen to have other responsibilities in the town of Danvers that particular night?
Yes, I did.
And can you explain that to the jury, please?
The current chief, Neil Willett, was out of state at the time, and I was appointed the acting chief of police at that time for the agency.
And is that a typical that if he happens to be, or now I guess you happen to be out of town, someone would be temporarily appointed to assume those duties should something occur?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, were you working a regular shift on the night of October 22nd?
No, I was not.
Okay. At some point, were you called in to come into the station?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember about what time that was?
It was about 10:40 when I responded.
And where did you respond?
I responded to the Danvers High School.
And can you describe at all for the jury what was going on at Danvers High School, not substantively, but in terms of personnel and deployment of personnel when you arrived at Danvers High? Who was there and what were they doing?
2 to 3 officers from the Danvers Police Department, Officer Baldassari, the school resource officer, Officer Stephanie Wennerberg, who happened to be working the evening shift, Sergeant Paul Stone, who was the patrol supervisor, were currently on scene at the high school.
And where were they on the high school grounds, if you remember?
Officer Baldassari was inside the building. Officer Wennerberg was outside the building, and Sergeant Paul Stone was in the parking lot on the side of the academic building.
In addition to police personnel, were school personnel present at that time?
Yes.
And do you remember, not necessarily who, but what types of school personnel were present?
The high school principal, Sue Ambrose, was present, and Dr. Lisa Dana, the superintendent of schools.
Dr. Lisa?
Dr. Lisa Dana.
D-A-N-A?
Yes.
And was one of your duties and responsibilities as acting chief that night to sort of liaison or interact with the school officials for the police department as things unfolded?
Yes, it was.
Now, Chief, when you arrived, what, if anything, did you direct your personnel to do?
After I arrived, I had a brief conversation with Sergeant Stone. I entered to the high school and had further conversation with Officer Baldassari.
And where was Officer Baldassari in the building at that time?
He was inside on the first floor in an office area.
And is that his office, if you know?
Yes, it is.
Were you able to see what he was doing?
He was working, yes, I did. He was working on the video system for the cameras inside the school.
At that point when you first arrived and first made contact with Officer Baldassari, were you able to see any of the video from the school at that time?
No, I did not.
And why was that?
The system was not working or functioning properly. It was freezing, and Officer Baldassari was trying to get it up and running properly.
While he worked on that, what did you go do?
While we were speaking and he was working on that, he had informed me that Officer Wennerberg was outside walking the perimeter of the high school.
And did you then go to the outside area?
Yes, we were called by Officer Wennerberg that she had discovered something, and she was asking for Officer Baldassari to come outside to see it.
And where, in what area was Officer Wennerberg when you went outside?
She was in the parking lot walking from the wooded tree line towards the academic entrance to the building.
Did she have anything with her?
She was carrying a black purse.
Just to be clear, if I could have that exhibit, please. I'm sorry. referring to Exhibit 24, is that the item you saw Officer Wennerberg carrying?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you have Officer Wennerberg do at that time?
He directed Officer Wennerberg and Officer Baldassari to have the purse placed back down on the ground at that point in time, and Canine Officer Justin Ellenton was then responded to the scene.
And for some period of time after your arrival at Danvers High School, Chief Ambrose, would you describe yourself as sort of being in charge of personnel?
Yes.
And where did you distribute your personnel at that time, meaning Officer Wennerberg, Officer Baldassari, Officer Ellenton, and Sergeant Stone?
Sergeant Stone had gone to look at another area of town. Officer Wennerberg, I requested that she take a look farther down the fence line by the dumpster area, by the field house area, to see if there were any other items that were down there. I then, along with Officer Ellenton and Officer Baldassari, I followed the canine dog as he conducted a search of the area.
And were you present, or was your attention directed after the fact to the items that the canine dog located with Officer Ellenton?
Yes, I was.
And did you have an opportunity yourself to examine, in particular, the recycling barrel and the clothing that was found in the pricker bush?
Yes, I did.
Based on those discoveries, Chief Ambrose, did you take steps to involve other Danvers personnel?
Yes, I did.
Can you describe for the jury what you did?
We called in the detectives division. I requested Sergeant Phil Tanzi to respond and to bring additional resources with him. Then I further requested additional officers to respond down to the scene.
Officers who were then working for Danvers on that shift, or other officers?
The ones that are currently working on the shift at that time. Eventually, we called in additional officers from the oncoming shift.
But initially, it was essentially all hands on deck for those who were already working?
That is correct.
And what steps did you ask them to take in terms of securing the area of Danvers High School in the woods?
They were requested the cordon off that area. We pulled everybody out from the wood line. Eventually, Sergeant Tanzi responded, was on scene, took over the investigation, and we set up a perimeter on the outside of the school, along the rail trail area, the backside of the wooded area, and on the outside of the school.
And Chief Ambrose, at some point were you asked to go back into the building to go into Officer Baldassari's office?
Yes, I was.
And had Officer Baldassari been successful in pulling up some video?
Yes, he did.
And what video did you observe at that time?
A video of Colleen entering the second floor bathroom and then being followed in by the defendant.
And based on that video having been located, were additional personnel, was that when the second shift was called in?
That's correct.
And in addition to other Danvers resources, were state police resources called in at that time as well?
Yes, they were.
Fair to say over the course of the rest of that night into the morning, how would you describe the level of law enforcement presence at Danvers High School and on the grounds of Danvers High School?
There was a heavy presence of officers.
At some point, without going into anything, were you notified through dispatch that Philip Chism had been located in Topsfield?
Yes, I was.
And sometime later, sir, were you notified that Colleen Ritzer had been located in the woods?
Yes, I was.
And were you present along with state police officers to make the notification to the Ritzer family back at the police station?
Yes.
Now, Chief Ambrose, are you, fair to say, as certainly part of your duties as a captain and as your duties as the chief now, you're familiar with the town of Danvers?
Yes, I am.
About how large geographically is Danvers?
It's about 12.5 square miles.
And are there any major highways that go through Danvers?
Several.
And which are those?
Route 128, Route 1, I-95.
And Route 1, particularly in the town of Danvers, where does Route 1, when it leaves Danvers, what city or town does it enter?
Going northbound, it enters Topsfield.
And coming from the south, where does it come from?
Peabody.
Are you familiar with the area of Endicott Street in the town of Danvers where fair to say 128 crosses Danvers at that location?
Yes.
And in the area of Endicott, how would you describe the area of Endicott Street?
It's a heavily retailed section of town.
Are there malls in that area?
Yes, there are.
And specifically, what mall is on Endicott Street?
There's the Liberty Tree Mall and the Endicott Plaza.
And in the Endicott Plaza, does that also contain sort of some other bigger stores that are not necessarily part of the plaza proper, but in that vicinity?
Yes, in that vicinity.
Okay. And does that include a BJ's warehouse?
That is correct.
Okay. And with respect to the Liberty Tree Mall, are you familiar with whether there is a movie theater in the Liberty Tree Mall?
Yes, there is.
And what are the Endicott Plaza and the Liberty Tree Mall on the same side of Endicott Street or a different side?
The same side.
And what is between the two of them, meaning Endicott Plaza and the Liberty Tree Mall?
Route 128.
So you'd have to cross over 128 on Endicott Street to get from one to the other?
Correct.
You can certainly do that. Endicott Street does that. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And are you familiar with the other side of Endicott Street?
Yes, I am.
And are there any fast food restaurants located on the other side of Endicott Street?
Yes, there are.
What do those include?
McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, and Taco Bell.
Okay. And, sir, about how far would you say the distance is from that Endicott Street shopping area from Danvers High School?
2.5 to 3 miles.
I have no further questions for Chief Ambrose.
No questions.
Thank you, sir.
Commonwealth calls Officer Stephen Baldassari.
Officer, we're going to stop here. If you could turn, face the clerk, she'll swear you in.
Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There's been a request for witnesses to be sequestered in the case, which I've allowed. All that means is until all the evidence is over, you can only be in the courtroom when you're testifying. You can't talk about your testimony with the other witnesses or let them talk about theirs with you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Officer Baldassari. In a loud, clear voice, can you introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, my name is Officer Steve Baldassari of the Danvers Police Department.
Can you spell your first and last name?
It's SteveBaldassare.
Officer Baldassari, how long have you been a police officer for the town of Danvers?
I've been a police officer since 1999.
And what is your current assignment for the Danvers Police Department?
I'm currently assigned to the Juvenile Division.
And what does that mean?
I'm a school resource officer for all of the schools that are in the town of Danvers.
How long, or when did you first become a school resource officer for the town of Danvers?
This is my 4th school year.
And prior to becoming the school resource officer, what was your position with the town of Danvers Police Department?
Before I was a school resource officer, I was a detective in the Criminal Investigation Division for about 9 years.
Now, Officer Baldassari, what are your duties and responsibilities as a school resource officer for the town of Danvers?
Basically to be a resource to assist and handle any situations that the school, the teachers, the administration need on a daily basis. Also, we teach at a lot of the elementary and middle schools.
Sort of personal safety and RAD type programs, is that what you teach?
Yes.
Okay. And how many, schools are there in the town of Danvers?
We have 3 high schools, Essex Tech, St. John's Prep, Danvers High School, 2 middle schools, St. John's Prep and Danvers Middle School, and then we have Thorpe School, Smith School, Highland School, Riverside School, Highland School, and also St. Mary's. So we have quite a few.
So you have both public and private schools that you interact with the same way?
Yes.
In terms of public middle schools in Danvers, is there only one?
There is one.
So all of the kids who go to the middle school then go on to Danvers High School or go wherever they go, but there's only one public middle school in Danvers?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Are there other school resource officers in the town of Danvers?
Yes, our division is made up of 3 officers. We have a Sergeant Silver, Officer Derek Colella, and myself.
And are each of you assigned to a particular school?
My office is in Danvers High School, so I'm assigned to Danvers High School, but we work hand in hand when needed, or if needed.
Okay. And fair to say, many of your responsibilities are fairly mundane, day-to-day, maintaining school safety and dealing with any issues that may come up in the school.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Officer Baldassari, in the year 2013, had there been any changes to the facilities at Danvers High School?
Yes, Danvers High School did a complete remodel. Once the Danvers Middle School had done a complete remodel, all the students from the Dunn Middle School, which was connected to the high school, were moved into the new middle school. All of the high school students from Danvers High School were moved over into the Dunn Middle School. Then the high school was remodeled, and then shortly in the spring of 2013, they started to phase in the students, the high school students, from the old Dunn Middle School into the new Danvers High School.
So they wasn't a brand new building, but the existing building of both the high school and one of the middle schools was, or the middle school, I guess, was modernized, does that say?
Yes, completely remodeled, yes.
So the fall of 2013, by the fall of 2013, were all of the high school students in the new high school, for lack of a better word?
Mostly, yes. The majority of the new academic wing was completed for the high school.
And what features did the new building contain?
The main feature that I would deal with would be a new video surveillance system, but there were many new features that the old high school didn't have that the new high school now had.
And how many cameras were involved in the video surveillance system?
There's a total of 140 cameras. We use Video Insight as the software. Cameras are globe-styled ceiling, motion-detected cameras that are placed throughout the school.
And what types of parts of the building are they located in? I mean, are they in the classrooms, or are they in what parts of the school?
Not in the classrooms, in the corridors, some of the hallways, the main lobbies, the auditorium, the field house, the Vi gym, the exterior of the school, the driveways, the parking lots.
And are you, I'm sorry, am I
Yes,
interrupting?
that's
okay.
nothing.
And I think you've already testified that they are motion detected, is that correct?
They are motion detected, yes.
So they don't start filming unless something triggers them?
Yes.
And are all of the cameras produced by the same manufacturer?
The same manufacturer, yes, but there are numerous companies that play a part in the camera system, including the town of Danvers and the school system.
And did that initially pose any difficulties when the camera system first went into use that fall of 2013?
Yes, numerous issues.
Okay. And in the fall of 2013, were the cameras numbered in any manner?
They were not numbered in any order that would make sense to anybody that would be using them. They were not named at that time to make any sense to anybody that's using them. It was basically the start of the program, so it's how that they initially entered them into the system, and then it was up to us as the school eventually to start to name them where the cameras are located and how we would use them by the location.
And were all of the cameras color or black and white or a mix?
Both, depending on which ones were working properly at the time and which ones were actually working or not working. And
so some were color, some were black and white?
Some could have been, yes.
Okay. And were the cameras fully operational at the beginning of that school year in 2013?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Were they being used, however, at the beginning of the school year?
They were being used, but not knowing exactly how to use them to the full extent. Okay. So yes, they were operational, and yes, they were being used.
And as part of your duties and responsibilities as the school resource officer, did you, at least in theory, have the ability to access those cameras at any given time from your office?
Yes, so in my office I have a computer that is in the school but is used through the town of Danvers. So my computer system doesn't run off the same network, I guess is the best way to explain it, as the school computers do. And on that computer I have a app that I can log into the software Video Insight and pull up the cameras.
And you had that ability on the night of October 22nd, 2013, although you weren't maybe as familiar with it as you are now.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as part of the ultimate investigation in this case, Officer Baldassari, did you provide the district attorney's office with schematics for the refurbished Danvers High School?
Yes, I did.
And were they true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And additionally, as part of the investigation in this case, you ultimately went through a great deal of video footage, is that correct?
Yes.
And in fact, are you also aware that the entire server for that day was downloaded and provided to the police?
Yes.
So all of the video footage from the school for that day, meaning October 22nd, was turned over?
That's correct.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to familiarize yourself with a animation created from the schematics you provided that provides a, that would assist you in explaining to the jury the grounds of Danvers High School?
Yes.
At this point, I would ask to use the chalk.
No objection.
I'm sorry?
No objection.
Sure.
And I have all of the images from the chalk are on this disc to be marked by me.
Sure, not that identification.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Thank you.
Before we go into the building, can you just orient us to this? Let me ask you this, is this a fair and accurate representation of the grounds of Danvers High School as it is, or as it was on October 22nd, 2013?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And can you, using the pointer I've given you on the screen in front of the jury, orient us to Danvers High School?
Sure. This area back here would be the field house,
Okay.
where the gyms are.
Actually, I'm just going to stop you for 1 second because
Yes.
you're getting ahead of me. Can we go to the educational portion?
Sure.
There we go. Okay. Does that help to highlight those areas?
Yes, that's better.
Okay.
This area right here would be the academic wing,
Okay. The area in blue.
in the area in blue, yeah, that I have my pointer on.
And what goes on in the academic
These
wing?
are all the classrooms for the students, the teachers.
And how
these are
many floors are contained in the academic
There are
wing?
3 floors here and 3 sets of stairs. In this area, this would be stairwell 3, right here in the corner. This would be the main entrance to the academic wing, which would be stairwell 2. And back here is stairwell 1, which leads to another part of the building.
And just to assist you, if we could go to the next, if we could go close up on the academic wing. From the perspective of, if you could just tell us again about the different stairwells and how they're numbered,
Sure.
which are now, I believe, highlighted in purple.
Sure, right here, this would be stairwell 3. And the green would be the south corridor that goes down to stairwell 2, which is the main academic entrance. Right here would be classroom A209, which was Colleen Ritzer's classroom. Over here is lavatory.
The yellow is the lavatory?
The female, yes, the female yellow lavatory. Back here in the orange would be the elevators, which leads to the guidance hallway, roughly right in this area here where my pointer is.
And understanding we don't have the roof off of that part of the building, does the guidance hallway then go straight back?
The guidance hallway, yes, would go straight back to the main lobby to the front of the school.
Okay. And to go down to the stairwell at the bottom here, is that stairwell 3 down at the lower right?
Right here, yes.
Okay.
Right here would be stairwell 3.
What is to the right of this slide right now? What street is that?
Right here, the street right here would be Cabot Road.
Okay.
And this would be the science wing or the B wing.
Okay. And if we could pull back at this time. Going to the building that's highlighted in yellow, and I've just screwed that up. Going to the building that's highlighted in yellow, what's that?
That would be the field house where the gymnasiums are.
And what is in the, is it just the gyms, or are there other things in there?
Locker rooms, coaches' offices, athletic equipment rooms, trainer room, the athletic director's office. Behind it would be the sports fields, picnic table area back here, track and field. The area would be back here.
And at least back in October of 2013, which athletic fields were being used by the school sports?
At that time would be the track and fields back here, would be the football field, which was back in this area here, and baseball field was right in this area here.
And you talked about some picnic tables. Can you just show us again where those are?
Yes, back by where the shot put in the track and field area were some picnic tables back in this area here.
And where there's shrubbery or trees depicted on the slide, what's there?
Right here is a trail for the cross-country runners. This leads into the orchards, which is the woods, and this where you see the tree shrubbery.
And the trail for the cross-country runners, what's the grade and quality of that area where you enter?
All dirt, rock path.
Now, and then there's an item that's white and then some black items. Do you see that? What's that?
Electrical generator is the white box here, and then right next to it is all a series of dumpsters.
Okay. And then finally, the area that's highlighted in brown at the bottom.
Right here would be a smaller, older athletic field that is used by mostly the youth. At that time now, that the field's being redone, is now used by the high school students.
But back in October of 2013, mainly by sort of like Pop Warner Youth Sports?
Yes.
Okay. And would they typically be using it during the school day or after school?
After school and at night. Okay. Early evening.
And I think we've already seen some photographs, but can you also access the orchards as you've described them from that older field?
Yes, roughly in this area is another path that is also dirt, rock, that leads into the orchards, which is used by the cross-country runners.
And Officer Baldassari, what is, understanding there's some confusion, what is considered the main entrance of Danvers High School?
The main entrance would be over on this side where the rotation of the circular driveway is.
Okay.
This would be the main lobby, right about here.
Where is the parking lot where faculty primarily parks depicted on this slide?
Yes, so the faculty and the students would utilize this entire parking lot.
Okay. And so typically, as a matter of habit, where do the faculty enter the building?
Faculty would enter the building in the academic A wing, which is stairwell 2 right here.
Now, Officer Baldassari, what is the school day at Danvers High School? When does it begin and when does it end?
Roughly around 7:30 and ends around 1:55.
And when the school day ends at 1:55, how do most kids typically leave the school?
Kids are either, if they drive to school, they would have their cars parked in this parking lot, or if they utilize the bus system would be up here at the front of the school, or if they're walkers, they would typically exit either stairwell 2 or 3 to walk home.
And can you both exit and enter stairwell 2 or stairwell 3?
In the morning, and then again in the afternoon, but during the day, these exterior doors are all secured and locked.
And do you know what time after the school day ends they're then locked again?
Roughly later on that night. I don't have an exact time due to athletics and other organizations that are using the school throughout the town.
Okay. And you've indicated you can exit or enter through stairwell 2 or stairwell 3. Can you exit or enter through stairwell 1?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so there's also a door there. Is that fair to say?
Yes, there's a door right on the back side here.
And then let me ask you this. The area that's not highlighted between the field house and the academic wing, what's in there?
Between...
Yeah, right there.
Right in this area would be the technology, hallway, offices. There's construction rooms. There's art rooms. There's engineering rooms. Back here would be another gym, a smaller gymnasium called the Vi Gym. Also down in this area is the superintendent's office and some clerical offices in this area here. And then back over here would be the janitorial services and maintenance services, roughly right around here.
And those parts of the building, are there also 3 levels there, or are there less than 3 levels the way there are in the academic and science wing?
Less than, there's 1 level.
Okay. 1 level until you get to that main area where you enter the school?
Yes.
Okay.
This has 2 levels.
2 levels, okay. So 2 levels there, 3
One
levels
level
in the
in this
science
area
and
here.
academic.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
3 levels in the science and academic wings, and 2 or 1 levels everywhere else.
Yes, 3 levels, 2 levels here, and then 1 level around here.
Now, sir, you've indicated all the stairwells. Are there also elevators, at least in the academic wing?
Yes, there are.
And I think you already indicated those on a different slide. Who's allowed to use the elevators typically during the day?
Typically, during the day, any teachers that need to use them, any students that may be injured, crutches or any type of injuries that may need to use them that can't use the stairs. If there were any type of deliveries for the school and they had large packages, let's say, they would typically use the elevators.
But students are not, able-bodied students are not typically supposed to be using the elevators,
No,
correct?
that's correct.
Now, in October of 2013, if we could go to the, if we could take the roof off. Academic. In October of 2013, was there an area in the academic wing where rolling recycling barrels were kept?
Yes, they were down on the first floor by stairwell 1 in the corridor.
And are they almost under the stairs? Is that fair to say? Under the stairwell?
Yes, they are under the stairwell.
And was there 1 or 2, or were there a collection kept there typically?
There's numerous in that area.
And in the fall of October 2013, had they been kept there since the beginning of the year?
Yes.
Now, if we can we can turn the light on if the court wants. Officer Baldassari, on October 22nd of 2013, were you working at Danvers High School that particular day?
During the day I was on a day off.
And is that, let me ask you this, when you're on a day off, are other officers responsible for covering the school?
Yes, the other 2 juvenile officers would fill in if one of us were on an off day, or if needed, the patrol division, specifically the Area 3, which is the area of the high school, if needed, would be summoned to the school if needed.
But no one would actually be physically located at the school unless something came up and the school needed to call someone?
That's correct.
Okay. But sometime later on October 22nd of 2013, were you asked to respond to Danvers High School?
Yes, later on that night.
And do you know about what time it was when you arrived?
Sometime after 9 o'clock.
Okay. When you first arrived at the school, who did you make contact with?
When I first arrived at the school, I received a call from the dispatch center at Danvers that patched me in with a phone call with a student and the student's mother.
Okay. And did you get some information from that person at that time?
Yes, I did.
Once you finished that phone call, did you ultimately get to the school itself?
Yes, I then entered into the school.
And what part of the school did you go into?
To the main doors, where that circular driveway was.
Where the buses pull up?
Yes.
And I think I've called it on my own the atrium area. Is there an atrium in that area?
Yes, atrium lobby, yes.
Okay. And when you arrived, who did you make contact with?
Via telephone was with Miss Carolyn and Erin Quigley.
Okay. Carolyn and Erin Quigley?
And Erin, yes.
Okay. And without going into anything that they said, did you then have a conversation with them?
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, you haven't even made contact with anyone at the school. You're just receiving information through dispatch, correct?
Yes.
Once you finished those 2 phone calls, what was the next person you made contact with?
I then entered the school and made contact with the school principal, Susan Ambrose.
Okay. And were you able to gather some information regarding what was going on?
Yes.
At that point, what was the nature of your investigation at the school?
A search for a missing 14-year-old by the name of Philip Chism.
At that point, did you have any information regarding anyone else being missing?
Ms. Ambrosevich had indicated that they also believed that they had a missing teacher.
And did you have a name for the missing teacher at that time?
Yes, Colleen Ritzer.
Okay. What steps, if any, did you take in order to sort of relay all of that to other law enforcement?
At that point, I contacted the street supervisor, which was Paul Stone, notified him of the additional information that I got from Ms. Ambrosevich, and then also contacted the Danvers Dispatch Center with Colleen Ritzer's cell phone to try to track or ping her location.
Were you able also to locate, or were they able to give you a photograph for Ms. Ritzer?
A photograph of Miss Ritzer and a photograph of Philip Chism.
Okay. So you had photographs of both to provide to the station, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, excuse me, prior to, when you first were dispatched to the school, were you aware of 2 missing persons or just one?
Just one.
Okay. When you arrived at the school, was that the first you learned of a missing teacher as well as a missing student?
Yes.
Okay. And is that part of the fact that you now have 2 missing people, is that part of what sort of changed the response of the police?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do at that point in the school or on the school grounds?
At that point, my idea was to go to the video surveillance system to try to find any information that could assist with the patrol division's search of the 14-year-old missing, and also now with the teacher.
Okay. And where did you go in the building?
To my office.
And do you have a computer in your office?
Yes.
What was the quality and age of the computer in your office at that time?
Very old computer, new software system.
And how did those two things interact?
Not very well.
Okay. What difficulties were you having at that time trying to access the video system?
Any type of video that I tried to pull up to view would either freeze or crash, or it would skip out and it would change cameras. So it was very difficult to try to find information, specifically because the cameras aren't named in the locations that I know of, and sort of follow what I was trying to do. I had to use an actual paper map and try to use the codes that they were using to try to figure out what camera and where in the building I was.
So you knew what area of the building you wanted to look for, but figuring out what camera covered that area of the building was difficult.
That's correct.
And even if you could get the cameras to play, then the system would crash or freeze.
Yes, it would freeze.
How long did you spend initially in your office struggling with the surveillance system?
A good amount of time until Captain Ambrose arrived.
Okay. And when shortly after Captain Ambrose arrived, did you stay in your office at that time, or did you go elsewhere?
Well, first I briefed him on what was going on, tried to have the administrators that were at the school provide me with another computer so I could continue that process. Then eventually I was called out to the outside student-teacher parking lot.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you observe when you went out to the student-teacher parking lot?
Officer Stephanie Wennerberg holding Colleen Ritzer's black bag.
And did you go back into the school at that point, or did you participate in looking in the area around the entrance to the orchards and where the utility area is?
I assisted Canine Officer Ellenton and Captain Ambrose with the track of the canine dog. At
that point, at least, sir, were you the only person on scene who had experience in the Criminal Investigations Division?
At that point, yes.
Okay. And just to be clear, Criminal Investigations is the Detectives Division, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you observe Officer Ellenton and his canine to locate?
Officer Ellenton and Canine Falco located a recycling bin, some clothing, some sneakers, some shoes, up in that pathway that I showed on the video that led into the orchards.
Okay. From that field that was used at that time for Pop Warner and things?
That's correct.
Not the pathway up by the field house?
Correct.
Okay. And when those items were discovered, did you have an opportunity to observe the condition of those items?
Yes, I did.
And based on that, at that point, what steps did you take?
At that point, Sergeant Tanzi and Detective Sullivan arrived. So at that point, I was assigned to go back to the school to continue what I was originally going to the school to do.
Look primarily at the video equipment?
Yes.
And did you have any more success on the second time now when you returned into the building to look at the video equipment?
Very little at first, but as the night went on, I started to get more and more with more time.
Okay. Familiarize yourself with how the quirks of the system and how it worked?
With the video
yes.
surveillance, when you would click onto a camera, it would show you what that camera is pointed towards, and I would try to line up the times as best I could to play what that camera captured in those two time frames.
Okay. And, sir, fair to say that since that time, in the 2 years since then, you've become very familiar with the video footage
from starting in the early morning and then primarily in the afternoon of October 22nd at Danvers High School.
Yes.
And particularly with respect to video footage from the time when Colleen Ritzer left her classroom to go to the bathroom, and the next 8 or 9 pieces of video footage after that, you're very familiar with those, is that correct?
Yes.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of what the cameras captured in the hallways of Danvers High School at that time?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this point I would move De Bene to admit all of the videos subject to what this officer can testify to. Some of them I asked to just show those at this time.
Any objection?
No.
Maybe admitted De Bene.
Exhibit 51, so marked.
Now, Officer Baldassari, you, I believe, have already testified you're familiar with the chalk or the exhibit that the Commonwealth produced. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And are you aware that the footage from the videos that you that were just introduced was embedded into the animation of Danvers High School at the location at which that video occurred in the high school?
Yes.
And with respect only to the movements of Philip Chism, were arrows put in place to depict Philip Chism's movement as covered by each video camera?
Yes.
And do you have an understanding as to why the colors of those arrows change?
Yes.
What is that?
By the color of his sweatshirt.
Or the color of his top clothing?
Top clothing, yes.
So when he's wearing red, the arrow is red. When he's wearing white, the arrow is white. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And other colors as well?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point, I would ask to play a number of videos through Officer Baldassari.
No objection.
It just may take us a minute to get there.
Sure, and while that's happening, ladies and gentlemen, I just remind you that you'll have all the evidence with you in the jury room when you're deliberating.
Now, Officer Baldassari, drawing your attention to the screen, and you can see, you would agree that at the bottom, at this point at least at the bottom right, there's an indication of what floor is being depicted, correct?
Yes.
And of the time that is covered by the particular video clip.
That's correct.
And again, just to clarify, the arrows only depict Philip Chism's movements, not anybody else's.
That's correct.
And are you aware that the first video also includes Colleen Ritzer's movements, but there's no arrow for that, correct?
Yes.
And just to orient us again, the room from which the blue arrow is departing is whose room?
That would be Colleen Ritzer's room.
Okay. I would ask to play the first video, Your Honor. If we can make it large, sorry. And do you recognize that to be Colleen Ritzer?
Yes.
And do you recognize that to be Philip Chism?
Yes.
And if we could play the next video. And this video takes place just right after that, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And this is the area of the stairwell, stairwell 2, I think you've called it.
This would be stairwell 2, yes.
And that was Colleen Ritzer just walking across.
Yes.
And, sir, the camera is where the camera is, correct? So it picks up whatever portion of a person is triggered by the movement. It doesn't move to where the person is.
No, it picks up the motion.
Okay. If we could play the next video. Is that the bathrooms?
Yes.
And I would just note that time now is 2:54:32 to 2:54:36, correct?
That's correct.
You could play the next video, which is now at 2:54:50. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And at 2:55, if we could play that video. Did you, Officer Baldassari, eventually come across those videos when you were searching the system on the night of October 22nd?
Yes.
And at some point, were you paying attention to the times of the video?
Yes.
If we could go to the next video without playing it. Approximately 11 minutes then went by where there was no footage of those bathrooms, is that correct?
Yes.
If we could play the next video. And then we could go to the next video. Less than a minute has, in fact, a matter of seconds goes by before the video between that young woman entering and her exiting. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, Officer Baldassari, were you ultimately able, with the assistance of school officials, to identify the young woman who just entered and exited the bathroom?
Yes.
And who was she?
Danielle Bedard.
And if we could go to the next video. And play that. And that's almost immediately after Miss Bedard leaves the bathroom, correct?
Yes.
If we could go to the next video. Now, as depicted by the arrow in the video we're about to play, Philip Chism makes his way down the stairwell, the hallway between stairwell 2 and stairwell 3. Is that correct?
Yes, the south corridor between 2 and stairwell 3, yes.
And if we could play the video. If we could go to the next video. And if we could play it. Sorry. He's now going down the stairwell 3 from floor 2 to floor 1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it's 3:08 in the afternoon. When parents are coming to pick students up, where do they typically pull into the school?
Typically pull in on right just to the left of the sidewalk between the teacher row of parking and then the sidewalk to that academic between stairwells 3 and 2.
So essentially the lane that's depicted on the animation between the painted parking spots and the sidewalk.
Yes, right in this area.
Okay, thank you. If we could play the next video. And if we could go to the next video. Now, there's a break of about a minute, you would agree with me, between the video we just saw and the next time that Mr. Chism is picked up on camera. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the next time he's picked up on camera, he's actually outside of the building where the white arrow depicts him. Is that correct?
Yes.
And if we could just play that video. And just to be, if we could just play that one more time. He's just picked up in the lower right-hand screen, is that correct?
Yes, in the white t-shirt.
Based on your knowledge of the system, does it appear it's the van that actually triggered the camera rather than Mr. Chism?
I believe so, yes.
I'll stop with that. Thank you. Now, as you were discovering video that night, were you relaying your information to other officers so they could do things like locate Danielle Bedard and gather other information?
Yes.
And did you remain in that office poring over video for some time?
Yes, for a total of 4 days, not all consecutive, but a total of 4 days I worked on the video.
Just trying to pull as much footage as you could from the school depicting Mr. Chism and Ms. Ritzer over the course of that day?
Yes.
And certainly other officers, and I think you've already indicated that the entire server was ultimately turned over to law enforcement as well.
Yes.
If I could just have a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
I have nothing further for Officer Baldassari.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, in the fall of 2013, you told us you were working as a school resource officer,
Yes.
and on the day of October 22nd, 2013, you were taking a day off,
Yes.
correct? And you did have an office at Danvers High School, is that correct?
Yes.
And that office was on the first floor?
Yes.
And you had talked about your access to the video cameras. Now, these cameras were little globes that were in the hallway,
Yes.
and the globes were visible,
Yes.
and there were over 100 of them,
Yes.
correct? Now, the system was relatively new, correct?
Yes.
And what you were telling us is that there was no rhyme or reason to how the cameras were labeled,
Yes.
and that the cameras didn't film continuously but would stop and start based on motion.
Yes.
All of them?
I believe so, yes.
Now, you were contacted to come into work, correct?
I offered to come in that night.
Well, you were contacted, there was a situation, and you offered to come in.
Yes.
And that was by dispatch.
Originally by my supervisor, my Sergeant Silver.
Sergeant Olivia Silva
Yes.
contacted you. And that was approximately 8 or 9 at night?
I believe after 9 o'clock.
And at that point, the only information you had was that a high school student was missing.
Yes.
Now, at some point, you actually talked to an assistant principal before you went to the school, correct?
I received some texts.
From Mark Strout.
Assistant Principal Mark Strout.
And as part of your responsibilities as a school resource officer, you acted as a liaison between the department and the school system, correct?
Yes.
Now, after you spoke to Assistant Principal Strout, you then spoke to your sergeant again, correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you offered to go to the school.
Yes.
And you live close to the high school.
I did, yes.
And you offered to go to the school to look at the video
Yes.
surveillance.
Yes.
Now, this video surveillance, it's part of the computer system at the high school, is that right?
I don't know what you mean by the computer system. It's part of the...
So let's take the principal at Danvers High School. She would be able to access the cameras from her computer,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And she was part of a computer system that was the high school computer system, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And I guess they must have their own server, correct?
That I don't know how
Okay.
it works.
But you were on a different network?
I don't know if I'm on a different network, but when I have trouble with my computer, it needs to be fixed by the town of Danvers employees because it's a Microsoft based, whereas the school uses Apple. So the school, I believe the information tech that works in the school would work with the Apples. So if there's any time that I need any help with my computer, I have to contact Town Hall, and a different tech would come and assist.
And is that the reason you needed an app to be able to view the videos on your computer?
I don't know what you mean.
Didn't you? I thought you said on Direct
Yep.
that one of the problems was you actually needed an app.
No,
on your-
there is an app on my screen to
Oh.
pull up the software.
And is that does the principal use that as well?
I don't know, I believe so.
Okay. So it's an app that comes with the camera system? You
I
don't
would-
know? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay. So you did go to the high school, correct?
yes,
And when you got there, you spoke with a parent on the phone, correct?
Yes, a parent and a student.
Student, and you were in the parking lot when you spoke.
Yes.
And after you got that information, you went into the school,
Yes.
and you went in that front entrance.
Yes.
And you went to the principal's office, correct?
No, I was in the lobby.
In the lobby. And when you left the lobby, where did you go?
I spoke with the principal in the lobby, and then myself, the principal, and Officer Wennerberg went into her office.
So you met and what's the principal's name?
Susan Ambrosevich.
And you met with Mrs. Ambrosewicz in the lobby and then went into the office.
Yes.
And the other officer was with you?
Wennerberg, yes.
Wennerberg. Now, at that time, that was the first time when you were talking to the principal that you found out that Miss Ritzer was missing, correct?
Yes.
And you contacted the dispatch to let them know that, correct?
He contacted the dispatch and Sergeant Stone, yes.
Now, at that point in time, just you and Officer Wennerberger were on the scene, correct? As law enforcement.
I believe so. Officer Wennerberg and myself were in the school. I'm not sure who was outside the school.
Now, you then directed Officer Wennerberger to go outside and check the exterior of the building, correct?
Yes.
And you directed her to go to the area outside B wing and A wing where there's some shrubbery, correct?
And the rest of the exterior, yes.
And the rest of the exterior. Now, after you sent Officer Wennerberger outside, you received information from the principal that the Ritzer parents had arrived at the school, correct?
Yes.
And you advised the principal that Ms. Ritzer's parents would need to go to the police station, correct?
Yes, I believe Officer Wennerberg was also still with us when I advised, so I'm not quite sure who advised the parents, but it was either Susan Ambrosevich or Officer Wennerberg.
Did you meet with the Ritzer family at that time?
No.
Now, it was only then that you left and went to your office, correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you tried to obtain information from the video, correct?
Yes.
And you were looking for video shots of Colleen Ritzer or of Philip Chism, correct?
I was looking for any video that would assist with the search, yes.
Now, at that point in time, you did not know Philip Chism, did you?
No.
And you had very little experience with the system, correct?
Yes.
And one of the things that was a problem is you're looking at a video and there's a person in it and they go out of the frame and you don't know where the next camera is, correct?
No, the main problem at that point was getting any video from the start. Because
you couldn't even get it to run.
Exactly. It kept freezing and I had to keep rebooting it and restarting the program.
Now, how long were you in your office before Captain Ambrose arrived?
I can't give you an estimated time. It would just be a guess.
But you were focused on the computer trying to get it
Yes, get it to run.
Now, he came in and you gave him the information you had up to that point,
Yes.
Captain Ambrose.
Yes.
And how long was Captain Ambrose in your office until you heard from Officer Wennerberg?
Again, I can't give you an exact time. I don't have an exact time for that.
And at the time that you heard from Officer Wennerberg, had you seen any video?
Nothing that I can remember at that time.
And then you left your office, correct?
Yes.
And you went out to the field area?
To the student parking lot. Teacher-student parking lot.
You went out to the student parking lot?
Yes.
And you went out there with Captain Ambrose?
Yes.
And you met Officer Wennerberg, correct?
Yes.
And Officer Wennerberger directed your attention to a black bag, correct?
Yes.
And that was a bag that you later learned was Colleen Ritzer's bag, correct?
Correct.
She also pointed out some other articles, correct?
Not to me, no.
And did she pointed out to you where the bag was found, correct?
Not to me.
Did you at some point learn where the bag was found?
She told me where the bag, but didn't point out where.
She didn't point it, but she told you. And what did she tell you?
Up in the hill area by the rocks where that cross-country path is.
And in the cross-country path has 2 large rocks on it, correct?
Yes.
Boulders, really.
Yes.
Did you see the recycle bin in the brush?
Yes.
And how long after you saw the black bag did you see the recycle bin?
Whatever time it took for Officer Ellenton to get the canine ready to track. I don't have an exact time and how long from the time of the bag to the time we actually started the track.
So after you saw Colleen Ritzer's black bag, what did you do then?
We instructed Officer Winterberg to put it down by a wooden guardrail barrier. Officer Ellenton got himself and the dog ready, and then eventually we started the track into the woods.
And did you go with the dog?
Yes, I followed behind Officer Ellenton and Captain Ambrose.
And where did you first go into the woods?
Up into that area by the rocks and all around that wooded area. We just followed the dog, the canine.
Could you give us a distance estimate how far you went into the woods?
Maybe 40, 50, 60 yards in the area.
Is that the farthest distance from the school parking lot that you went?
No, from the beginning of the woods, probably 40, 50 yards into the woods.
Into the woods.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, may we have the break now?
Sure. Let me see counsel right before the break, if I could, please.
Stop here, turn, face the clerk. This way you went.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated.
Come up. All the others.
Good afternoon. Hi. There's been a motion that I've allowed that only allows witnesses to be in the courtroom when testifying until the evidence part of the trial is over. And witnesses can't talk about their testimony with other witnesses until the evidentiary portion of the trial is over. Thank you. Ms. Woodard, please.
Good morning. Could you please introduce yourself to the jurors, spelling your first and last name?
My name is Carolyn Quigley, Carolyn. Last name is Quigley.
Ms. Quigley, what town do you live in?
I live in Danvers.
And do you have any children?
I do. I have 4.
And can you please tell us their names and ages?
Erin is 17, Emma is 15, Duncan and Patrick are 13.
And back in October of 2013, did any of them attend Danvers High School?
My oldest, Erin, did.
And how old was she at the time of October of 2013?
She was 15.
And what grade was she in?
She was a sophomore, 10th grade.
How did Erin typically get to school?
She took the bus most days.
And did that include going to school and coming home?
Yes, frequently she would stay after school and I would have to pick her up.
And how would that be arranged? Would that be arranged in the morning or later in the day?
Later in the day she would call me.
On Tuesday, October 22nd, 2013, do you recall how Erin got home that day from school?
She had stayed after school. She called me to come pick her up.
And do you recall approximately what time you picked her up?
It was about 3:10 in the afternoon.
And when you would pick her up, did you have a specific place that the two of you arranged at the school where you would pick her up?
Yeah, I would typically pick her up in the driveway where parents do drop-offs.
And is that where you met her that day?
Yes.
While you were waiting for Aaron, were you parked in a parking space or alongside the road?
I was alongside the school in the driveway.
And did anything catch your attention while you were waiting for Aaron?
Yes, I saw a boy in the bushes who was crouched. He was looking around like he was looking to see if anyone was looking at him. He looked like he was changing, stood up, pulled a shirt down, pulled pants, kind of adjusted pants, put a belt on. And then he picked up a bundle and put it in, there's an L in that area, and he picked that bundle up and put it in that corner.
And when you were watching him, what angle were you viewing him from?
He was to the side.
Okay, so you were looking at the side of him?
Yes.
And were you watching this from inside your car?
Yes.
Did you know this male individual?
No.
May I approach this witness, Your Honor?
Sure, Ms. Woody.
Ms. Quigley, I'm showing you two photographs. Just ask you to take a look at those for a minute and look up when you're done.
Okay.
Do you recognize what those photos depict?
They're the high school, Danvers High School.
Okay. And are those what are commonly referred to as aerial photographs?
Yes.
Okay. And then looking at both of those photographs, do those photographs accurately depict the school buildings and parking lots of Danvers High School as they appeared on October 22nd, 2013?
Yes.
I would ask that these be marked as the next exhibits.
No objection.
Admitted.
Aerial view is 52.
Exhibit 53. May I publish these, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Quigley, looking at what's been marked as Exhibit 52, I'm going to ask you to use this pointer and show us where, oh, there's one actually right in front of you. I'm sorry, let me make sure it's on. Just press that green button. You could show us where exactly your car was parked on that day?
I was right here.
Okay. And you said before that you weren't in a parking space, is that correct?
That is correct. I was right alongside this area against the curb.
Okay. And what kind of car did you drive?
I drive a Toyota Sienna Silver.
And is that the car that you drove on October 22nd to the school?
Yes.
And were you parked right up against that by the doorway going into the building?
No, I was back further from the door. There may have been other cars. I was right in this spot right next to that grass.
Okay, so past the circle but before the door.
Correct.
And the area that you said that you saw the male individual, can you point that out, please?
It was in here, behind the tree, between the building and the trees and bushes.
Okay. And after you saw that individual do what appeared to be changing and then put a bundle in those bushes, where did you see him go?
He went, he came out and then went into what was then the main entrance, which was this. So he ran down the sidewalk and into that entrance.
Okay. And when he ran down the sidewalk, did he pass right by your vehicle?
He would have, yes.
And was anybody else in the car with you that day?
My daughter Emma was in the car with me.
Okay. And can you describe where each of you were positioned in the car?
I was in the driver's seat. She was in the front passenger seat.
Ms. Quigley, I'm showing you another photograph that has a time and a date stamp on the bottom of October 22nd, 2013 at 3:09 p.m. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's my car.
Okay. And can you tell who is sitting in the front passenger seat of that car?
That's my daughter.
Okay. And is it fair to say that is a photograph of you and your daughter that afternoon waiting for Aaron to come out?
Yes.
If I could have that marked as the next exhibit.
No objection.
Be Exhibit 54.
Yeah.
With permission of the court, I'd like to publish it.
It may be published.
Grant, how do you take a look at what's been marked as Exhibit 53?
This is a photograph that you looked at earlier in your testimony.
You mentioned that there was a slight L where you saw the gentleman place the bundle.
Yes.
Can you describe and point on this photograph where that is?
This L right here. So he would have been here when I first saw him. When he picked up the bundle, he put the bundle directly in the corner.
Okay. And you said he picked it up and then he put it down in that corner?
Yes.
Okay. And that's right where the two corners of the building meet?
Yes.
Ms. Quigley, later that evening, did you learn about a 14-year-old boy from Danvers High School who was reported missing?
Yes, I did.
And how did you find out about that?
My older daughter told me.
And did she tell you where she had learned that information?
She saw it on Twitter.
And did she show you any tweets that she had seen on Twitter?
She showed me the tweet from the Danvers police.
And when you saw that tweet, do you remember the information that it contained?
That there was a boy from the high school that was missing.
And were there any photographs attached to that tweet?
Yes, there was.
And what was the photograph of? Ms. Quigley, returning to that tweet that you saw from your daughter, Erin, you mentioned that there was a photograph attached to it. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you recall what that photograph depicted?
It depicted a boy by the name of Philip Chism.
Ms. Quigley, I'm showing you a document. If you could take a look at it and look up when you're done. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What do you recognize it to be?
I recognize it as the tweet that I saw that night.
Okay. And when you saw the tweet that evening with that photograph attached,
did you have any reaction to it?
Yes, we both recognized it as the boy that I had seen at the school that day.
Okay. When you say the boy you had seen at the school that day, was this the boy that you had seen in that L-shaped area with the bushes?
Correct.
If I could have that marked as an exhibit.
No objection.
Exhibit 55, so marked.
I have permission of the court to publish it.
You may.
What did you do after you saw that tweet?
Short discussion with my husband about what I should do, and then I called the Danvers police to let them know that I had seen him that day in the bushes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
I have no questions, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next witness, please.
Commonwealth calls Vinicio Pimentel. And this witness would be the services of the interpreter, Your Honor.
You may.
Mr. Pimentel, if you could stop here, turn, face the clerk, raise your right hand.
Sir, do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Sí.
Yes.
You may be seated.
Puede pasar a sentarse.
Thank you. You're welcome, sir. You could
Good afternoon, sir.
for a moment.
Sir, there's a requirement that I've had for witnesses in the case that until all the evidence is over, witnesses can only be in the courtroom when they're testifying. They can't talk about their testimony with other witnesses. We'll let other witnesses talk about their testimony with you. Do you understand that, sir?
¿Me entiende?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Ya puede ver.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you please introduce yourself to the jurors, spelling your first and last name?
Señor, preséntese al jurado deletreando su primer nombre y su apellido, por favor.
Mi nombre es Vinicio Euclides Pimentel Quiroz.
My name is Vinicio Euclides Pimentel Quiroz.
And how do you spell Vinicio?
¿Cómo se escribe el Vinicio?
V-I-N-I-C-I-O.
V-I-N-I-C-I-O.
And how do you spell your last name of Pimentel?
¿Y cómo se deletrea Pimentel?
P-I-M-E-N-T-E-L.
Mr.
P-I-M-E-N-T-E-L.
Mr. Pimentel, where do you work?
¿Dónde trabaja usted, señor Pimentel?
Tengo dos trabajos.
I have two jobs.
And what are those two jobs?
¿Cuáles son esos dos trabajos?
JCPenney y Highland School.
I work at JCPenney's and Highland School.
And what do you do for the Highland School?
¿De qué trabaja en el Highland School?
Supervisor de limpieza.
I am the supervisor of the cleaning.
And is that done directly through the Highland School, or do you work for another company that they contract with?
¿Y eso lo hace directamente bajo contrato con la escuela o con otra compañía a quienes ellos
Con una
contratan?
compañía de limpieza.
It's through a cleaning company.
And what is that cleaning company's name?
¿Cómo se llama esa compañía?
SJ Service.
S&J Services.
And how long have you worked for S&J Services?
¿Y cuánto tiempo ha trabajado para S&J
4
Services?
años.
4 years.
So did you work for them back in October of 2013?
Estaba trabajando para ellos en octubre del 2013.
Correcto.
Correct.
And back in October of 2013, did you do cleaning for them as well?
¿Y en octubre del 2013 usted limpiaba para ellos?
Correcto.
Correct.
And were you assigned to a specific building at that time?
¿Y estaba usted asignado a un edificio en particular en ese tiempo?
Sí, a una escuela.
Yes, to a school.
And what school was that?
¿A qué escuela?
La High School de Danvers.
Danvers High School.
And how long had you been cleaning at Danvers High School through S&J Services back in October of 2013?
Y en octubre del 2013, ¿cuánto tiempo tenía de estar limpiando en la Escuela Superior de Danvers a través de S&J Services?
Aproximadamente como 1 año y medio.
Approximately a year and a half.
And did you do that on your own, or did you have a team of cleaners that worked with you?
¿Y usted hacía esto por sí solo o tenía un equipo que trabajaba para usted?
Tenía un equipo.
I had a team.
And how many people were on that team?
¿Y cuánta gente formaba parte de ese equipo?
Como 7.
About 7.
And what was your role with respect to that team?
¿Y cuál era su
papel en ese equipo?
El mío,
Mine? Correct.
Correcto.
supervisar el trabajo de cada uno y hacer mi trabajo aparte.
I had to supervise each of their jobs and do my own job.
I'd like to turn your attention back to that specific day of October 22nd, 2013. And that's the day of the incident that brings you into court today.
Quiero dirigir su atención al 22 de octubre del 2013 por el incidente que usted está aquí el día de hoy.
What time did you and your team arrive at Danvers High School on that day?
¿A qué horas llegaron usted y su equipo a la Escuela Superior de Danvers ese día?
Como 4:45 de la tarde.
About 4:45 in the afternoon.
And was that your normal time to arrive?
¿Esa era su hora normal de llegada?
La hora normal era a las 5 de la tarde.
The normal time was 5 o'clock.
And is there a particular area of the school that you and your team are responsible for cleaning?
¿Y hay un área en particular de la escuela que usted y su equipo eran responsables de limpiar?
La escuela completa.
The whole high school.
Does that include the classrooms?
¿Eso incluía las aulas?
Yo no las aulas, pero los empleados sí.
I did not clean the classrooms, but my workers did.
Okay. Does that include the hallways outside of the classroom?
¿Eso incluía los pasillos fuera de las aulas?
Correcto.
Correct.
Does that include the bathrooms?
¿Eso incluía los baños?
Los empleados, yo no.
The workers, not me.
Okay. And do your workers, are they responsible for cleaning the gym and the locker rooms as well?
¿Y sus empleados también limpian el área del gimnasio y de los lockers?
Cuando eso no.
At that time, no.
Okay. So were you and your workers limited to the area of the classrooms and the hallways outside of those classrooms and the bathrooms in that area?
Su equipo y usted estaban limitados al área de las aulas, los pasillos y los baños de esa área.
Eso sí hacíamos.
¿Perdón?
Que eso sí lo hacíamos.
Yes, that's what we did.
At some point after arriving on October 22nd, 2013, did one of your cleaners by the name of Donis Nunez approach you about something he had found?
Y el 22 de octubre, uno de sus trabajadores, Donis Núñez, se acercó a usted acerca de algo que él había encontrado.
Correcto.
Correct.
And approximately how long had you been at the school before Mr. Nunez approached you?
¿Y como cuánto tiempo tenía usted de estar en la escuela cuando el señor Núñez se acercó a usted?
Como 1 hora y media.
About an hour and a half.
As a result of what Mr. Nunez told you, did you go to a particular location in the school?
Como resultado de lo que el señor Núñez le dijo a usted, ¿se dirigieron a un área en particular de la escuela?
Sí, a uno de los baños.
Yes, to one of the bathrooms.
And do you recall where that bathroom was?
¿Se recuerdan dónde estaba ese baño?
En el segundo piso.
On the second floor.
And do you recall whether it was a boys' bathroom or a girls' bathroom?
¿Y era un baño de niños o de niñas?
Niñas.
Girls.
And when you got to the outside of that bathroom, let me ask you this first. Is that bathroom off of a hallway?
Déjeme preguntarle eso de primero. ¿Está ese baño en un pasillo?
Correcto.
Correct.
And when you approached the bathroom, the entrance to the bathroom from the hallway, did you notice anything?
Y cuando usted se acercó a la entrada del baño desde el pasillo, ¿notó usted algo?
Correcto.
Correct.
What did you notice?
¿Qué fue lo que usted notó?
Marca de pisada de sangre.
There were footsteps with blood.
And where did you see those footsteps?
¿Dónde vio usted esas pisadas?
En frente de la puerta.
In front of the door.
Did you notice anything else on the outside of that door?
¿Notó usted algo más en la parte de afuera de la puerta?
No.
No.
What did you do at that point?
¿Qué hizo usted en ese momento?
Me dirigí a la oficina de la escuela.
I went to the office in the school.
Did you enter the bathroom before going to the office in the school?
¿Entró usted al baño antes de dirigirse a la
Correcto.
oficina? Correct.
And was anybody with you when you entered that bathroom?
¿Había alguien con usted cuando usted entró al baño?
El mismo muchacho que me dijo.
The same man that had told me.
So Mr. Nunez was with you?
¿El señor Núñez estaba con usted?
Sí.
Yes. And when you opened up the door to that bathroom, can you describe to the jurors what you saw?
Cuando usted abrió la puerta a ese baño, ¿podría usted escribirle al jurado qué fue lo que usted vio?
Sangre.
Blood.
Where did you see the blood?
¿Dónde vio usted la sangre?
Desde la puerta de entrada hasta el final de la pared.
From the entry through the door until the end to the wall.
And where was the blood? Ask you this. Was the blood located on the floor of the entryway to the back?
¿Estaba la sangre en el suelo desde la entrada hasta la parte de atrás?
Correcto.
Correct.
And did you notice any other blood when you first entered on the walls or any other location besides the floor?
¿Notó usted sangre en algún otro lugar aparte del suelo?
Solo en la puerta de entrada y en las paredes, salpicadura.
At the entry, at the door, and some splashes.
You saw some splashes at the entry to the door?
¿Usted vio las salpicaduras en la entrada de la puerta?
Después de la puerta en la pared.
After the door on the wall.
May I approach this witness, Your Honor?
Sure.
Mr. Pimentel, I'd ask you to take a look at that photograph.
Señor Pimentel,
Look
quiero
up
que
when you're done.
mire esta fotografía y que me mire cuando ya la vio.
Okay.
Do you recognize what is depicted in that photograph?
¿Reconoce usted qué es lo que hay en esa fotografía?
Correcto.
And what do you recognize that photograph
¿De
to
qué
be?
es esa foto?
Del baño.
Of the bathroom.
Is that the bathroom that you've been describing that you went up and looked into?
¿Este es el baño que usted describe que usted entró a ver?
Correcto.
Correct.
And other than the fact that that photograph does not contain any blood in it on the floor and has those yellow markers, is how the bathroom is situated the same as it was on October 22nd, 2013?
Aparte de que esa fotografía no tiene la sangre en el piso, ¿es esa una representación de cómo era el baño cuando usted lo vio ese día?
Correcto.
Correct.
I'd ask that that be marked as the
Quiero
next
que sea
exhibit.
esto marcado como...
Whose witness is this? Oh, Mr. O'Neill? Thank you. Committed.
Es la grabación 26.
May I have permission to publish it, ma'am?
Sure.
Van a proyectar la foto.
Mr. Pimentel, there is a pointer here.
Señor, este es un puntero.
Okay.
You can use this green button
Este botón
and
verde,
point out on
usted
this
puede
photograph
señalar en la fotografía
where it is that you saw the blood
dónde
when
es que
you
usted vio
entered.
la sangre cuando entró.
Desde aquí
From here
hasta acá.
to there.
And where you first pointed, is that right where you step into the bathroom?
Donde usted señaló de primero es ahí justo donde usted entra al baño.
Desde la puerta que está más para acá.
The door is a little further this way.
Okay. And the blood that you saw going down to the back, was it all in the same condition?
La sangre que usted vio que iba hacia atrás, ¿estaba toda en la misma condición?
Justo acá adentro
Inside here,
había más.
there was more.
Okay. And the area that you're pointing to, is that the area prior to the first stall?
El área que usted está apuntando es el área que está antes del primer cubículo.
Desde el primero había mucha acá.
There was a lot
y en
in
los
this
otros
spot
cubículos.
and in the other cubicles.
Okay. So when you're pointing to the right-hand side, are you pointing
Cuando usted
to
está
inside the
señalando a la
stall?
derecha, está señalando adentro de un cubículo de baño.
Dentro de cada cubículo.
Inside each of the stalls.
Okay. And how many stalls were in that
¿Y
bathroom?
cuántos cubículos hay en ese baño?
No los recuerdo ahora mismo.
I don't recall.
Okay. And looking at this photograph,
Viendo la
is it
fotografía,
fair to say that there are two regular-sized stalls and then the handicap stall in the back?
¿Es justo decir que hay dos de tamaño normal y el de minusválidos está atrás?
Aparenta como 3 normal y el de minusválido.
I think there's 3 normal and the handicap.
And in that stall area, was there any one stall that you saw more blood in than the other?
Y en el área de los cubículos había uno que tenía más sangre que los demás.
No, en los cubículos se veía igual en todo.
The stalls all had the same.
And I had asked you previously if the blood was all in the same condition. Do you understand that question?
Entiende mi pregunta cuando yo le pregunto si la sangre estaba todo en la misma condición.
Sí, estaba en la misma condición.
Yes, it was in the same condition.
Okay. Was some of the blood wet versus dry, or was it all the same?
¿Estaba alguna de la sangre mojada y otra seca o toda estaba igual?
Donde comienza la puerta estaba un poco seca y de ahí en adelante mojada.
Where the door starts, it was a little dry, then it was wet.
What did you do upon seeing that when you walked in?
¿Qué hizo usted al ver eso cuando entró?
Me dirigí a la oficina de la escuela.
I went to the school office.
And where is the school office located?
¿Dónde está la escuela de la oficina?
Está camino a la cancha.
It's towards the field.
And what was your purpose in going to the field office?
¿Y cuál era su propósito de ir hacia la
Informarle al encargado de la escuela.
To inform the person in charge of the school.
And do you recall who that was?
¿Se recuerda quién era esa persona?
Él no estaba en ese momento en esa área.
He was not in the area at that time.
Okay, so what did you do?
¿Y qué hizo usted?
Estaba el ayudante de él ahí.
His helper was there.
Okay, and did you speak to his helper?
¿Habló usted con el ayudante?
Correcto.
Correct.
And do you recall that person's name?
¿Se recuerda del nombre de esa persona?
Dennis se llama.
Dennis.
And when you say you went to look for the head of the school, was this the head custodian?
Cuando usted dice que fue a buscar a la persona encargada, ¿se refiere al que el encargado de todos los empleados de limpieza?
El encargado de la ciudad de la escuela.
It's the person from the city that's in charge of the school.
Okay, and is that person in charge of cleaning the school as well?
Esa persona también está encargada de limpiar la escuela.
Pero para la ciudad.
But for the city.
Okay. And how many of those types of workers are you aware that Danvers High School has?
¿Y cuántos de esos tipos de trabajadores sabe usted que tiene la escuela de Danvers?
Solo en la tarde que yo trabajaba el supervisor y el ayudante.
In the afternoons when I worked, it was just the supervisor and his helper.
Okay. And do you recall the supervisor's name?
¿Se recuerda el nombre del supervisor?
Chuck se llama.
Chuck.
Okay. So Chuck and Danny were the two custodians that would be on during the shift that you and your cleaners would come to clean. Is that fair?
Chuck y Danny eran los dos empleados de dos empleadores de limpieza que estaban a cargo cuando usted llegaba.
Correcto.
Correct.
All right. Could I see counsel on scheduling before we recess for the day, and the witness and the interpreter may step down?
Podemos irnos para